right.
Would you take your parents and or my mother to Barbie?
So what was really weird is I wanted at the end of this movie to take your mom to scenes of this movie.
I think
And
that you
my
would
mom.
love scenes of this movie.
I
'Cause my
agree.
Parts of
mom,
it.
my mom grew up on Barbie.
She loves Barbie.
Loves him.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the thing, though, is this movie, and I just want to highlight this. So far, this is my movie of the year. I just will say that
Barbie
out
is?
loud. Yeah. It was, I don't know if it's the state of mind I'm in right now or whatever, but I was like, holy crap, I felt this. And I felt like Alan in life. But it was
The amount of Michael Cera that we got in Barbie was the amount that I wanted him in Black Mirror. Like, because it wasn't too much where he overtook anything, but he was in there and he was hilarious every scene
This
that he
part
was in.
was perfect.
And okay, don't get me wrong. Like, we'll talk about Alan right now because I feel bad. Like, we're talking about Barbie, and the first thing we're talking about is Michael Cera,
So,
right?
yeah.
But like, he was in it a great amount. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
But I think what Barbie showed, to me at least, and this is going into a spoiler thing, is
Don't
like-
go into spoiler.
yeah, I'm not going.
That's
Oh.
what we're avoiding here.
Yeah, that's, what
Casey.
that's why I was like,
It's like
sorry,
I haven't seen.
I
it
don't want to
yet.
go into spoiler, but like, it's not what it seems like what you expect, and that was the beauty of the whole show. It was kind of is that okay way to describe it?
I feel like I know what you're saying.
But like, cause like I think about Barbie and I just think about ridiculousness, and I know that that sounds kind of funny, and I love the themes that it provided and talked about, like, but it was not what I expected from this movie. And my brother, who is 20, he wouldn't tell us a dang thing about this movie. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna love it," but I'm not telling you anything about it. It's not what you expect. Margot Robbie. If I had two hands, the clap would be all the way there for you. It was amazing. The depth of her abilities and skills and her facial expressions, the whole dang 9 yards. Oh, so good. And I don't want to derail from it. Also, Ryan Gosling, performance of his career. I will say that, in my opinion.
Ryan Gosling was great in it.
Yeah. But
Like,
you can
I'd
go.
have to remember more to say performance of the career, but he really does do an excellent job. He is hilarious. He does a good job. Has a very funny role in the movie with his character of Ken, and there's just some lines that he has that are.
He was built for this role. Like, it was perfect.
He is perfect for this role. Right? Very, very funny. He talks a lot about horses, and that one near the end about horses is a lot. He just as you can tell from the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler, him and Barbie, they go to the real world. And so he just discovers a lot of stuff, and horses is something that he just kind of ends up loving.
He just loves horses.
So no more. That was borderline spoiler. Apologize. America
Yosef.
Ferrera. Holy
Oh.
cow. She's a supporting actress. She's someone who's in the real world, who you end up meeting. She was incredible. She was one of my favorite roles of the whole movie.
I cried a little bit in
Oh.
her. So just to preface this, Vince, I cried 5 times in this movie.
Dang.
So just be aware.
I teared up at one point.
Yeah, like I said,
Not
it
like
might
saying
be
that,
my
like that it was
emotional-
less, but like I like saying that it does have emotional moments as well.
Well, it's a powerful movie in the unexpected ways. And America Ferrera, right? That's how you say her name.
I guess that was my guess.
My first thought of her is Ugly Betty, which was when you and I were younger. Like, that was the big thing on TV. And so I was like, why the heck is she going to be in this? Like, what is she going to do? Oh, my freaking Lanta. It was great. And I'm trying to think of Kate McKinnon. Is that her name?
Weird Barbie.
Yep, that's it.
I think so.
Yeah, great role for her. Perfect for her personality.
Kidding.
Every character. So I think we're talking about this earlier. Kind of like people fit where they belong, right? In this movie, and the puzzle was beautiful. Have we
And
given you
in life.
spoilers more than you wanted to know? I'm hoping I'm not. I don't know, but like it was good. It was clever. It had so much actual. Like, the world of Barbie in this movie was built off of actual Barbie toys, and it was amazing to see how they put that into real life. I think it was cool.
Yeah, because we talked about when we were talking about Barbie before, when the first trailers were released and everything that was happening, we talked about the lore behind it and how they were really specific with, I think we talked about Midge, right? There was like a pregnant Barbie that Mattel had, and they discontinued and how she was going to be in it. Alan, Ken's friend. who
Sugar
all his
daddy.
clothes fit and stuff like that. So all of this, like, so there's a lot of very meta humor in Barbie, which is one of my favorite and most endearing parts of it. Is there's a lot of meta humor, which is good and bad. This also kind of leads into one of my critiques of the movie. I also loved the movie. It was excellent. I'm pretty sure I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. It was very, very good. One of my critiques of the movie was part of it felt kind of hollow to me. And I mean that in a couple ways. One, they have a few action sequences of running and chasing and stuff like that. And I don't know what it was, but something about these just felt, maybe it's because, you know, I watched Mission Impossible and all the other things that are so next level as far as those action sequences goes, that they were happening and I just wasn't as entertained when they were happening. I was like, okay, like I understand what the story's doing and this has to happen. I was like, this is whatever. I wasn't distracted, but I like wasn't as in it as I could have been, I guess. And then the other part that was hollow is there are times where Mattel is very because Mattel is part of this movie and, making it happen, the people who made Barbie and whatnot. Part of it is very self-aware, being like, hey, like, we've always been trying to do good, but we've made mistakes in the past as far as all of these things that have happened. But part of it just feels like a brand trying to use this as a chance to self-correct image and stuff like that. And like I said, they do a very good job about not making it all about that, but there were a few times where it just felt, for me, transparently that.
It was very blatant.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of meta humor, and so a lot of like the meta part comes into it. But especially near the end, I kind of like let that part to the side. I was like, I understand what they're doing, and they're being very self-aware that stuff like this has happened, and they're trying to either correct or just kind of change the view, but not in a bad way where they excuse kind of past mistakes or other stuff like that, I guess. Either way, Barbie was number one, like I said, a very, very fun time. There are moments in this movie where I was very emotional, where I loved it. Just there's these piano-led melodies that happen, and you think about, even, as someone who doesn't have to, experience, who hasn't experienced, the female experience in our world and those expectations that happen, just there are moments where it even just talks about the real life and what it means, or the real world, and just what it means to be a human in general, sort of. And so there's just a lot of good things that happen in this movie, like, and with non-spoilers, that I think that everyone should see this movie. 100%. Like, I think that this is a good movie, both for just thinking about it, to have a good time. It is a fun movie all the way around, and has some things that are really important. Not necessarily like the newest, like, type of dive into issues when we're talking about stuff, but really fun, really smartly done. Greta Gerwig deserves a directing nomination 100%. One of the things I loved about this movie was that we can talk about non-spoilery because you can just see it from the trailers, is the production design.
Yes.
The set of this Barbie land that exists, just this perfect Barbie land, these dream houses, just because you think about, you're going to see this movie and you know that it's going to have the Barbie aesthetic and the feel and just very pink and all that stuff. And it would be very easily for that to get overwhelming and too much pink too fast, even for a Barbie movie, right? And this movie does an excellent job. And the production design, the sets where they film these are just so beautiful. Because I've seen these behind-the-scene pictures. I was like, I wonder how much this is like not real and stuff. But these behind-the-scene pictures where you see Greta Gerwig just in smack dab in the middle of Barbie land, I'm just like, what is happening? Because these sets are gorgeous. But it's also very self-aware of like, hey, like this house is beautiful, but it's a freaking Barbie house. One person's waving at another just from, their freaking bed, like, hey, because it's just pretty much like an open Barbie house, type thing. And so there's a lot of really smart decisions to make it funny and make people say, hey, like, I know that Barbie, or, oh, I know this. And just, it could be I could see it being a very nostalgic movie. Obviously, not obviously, but just I didn't have a lot of experience with Barbies growing up. My older sister had some Barbies, and there's traumatic experiences with certain
rest in peace Olympic Barbie,
Olympic swimming Barbie that she'll never forgive my mom for giving away. But
I didn't really grow up with a lot of Barbie, because I grew up in pretty much an all boy household. But I did have some cool Barbie beanbags at one point in time, and I have watched Barbie Swan like 40 times. Really quickly, in comparison, in addition to what you're talking about the set and how unique it is, I did want to highlight the soundtrack to this. It was amazing. I do want to highlight, even if you don't go watch the Barbie movie, Vince, just get on Spotify and listen to the soundtrack. It'll be a good time for you. Like, it's fun. And So yeah, I would give it 2 thumbs up to go see, and that's 50% more thumb than I have, or 100% more thumb than I have. I don't know math. But anyhow, yeah, that's all I got on the Barbie movie. I if I keep talking about it, I'll just go into spoilers. So
True. That's a tough part. Is Oppenheimer. I felt like we could talk a lot without going into spoilers because so much of it is based on historical events and whatnot. And Barbie, it's a little bit harder to do that. And so I agree that we were kind of skimming the line, and I would love to talk more about Barbie, but we'll avoid the spoilers. I will say that I'm keeping my own private list throughout the year instead of having to do it all at the end about my top list or top movies of 2023. And there's a lot of movies that are still yet to come out and stuff like that. But I think it would take kind of a crazy set of movies through the second half of 2023 to push this out of my top 10 is what I'll say.